up, all my LJC family, and welcome back to my channel. Welcome back, welcome back, welcome back, welcome back, welcome back. Hey, welcome back, all my LJC family. And I just want to thank y'all for all the love and support that y'all have been showing me. Thank y'all so much. And if you are watching and you haven't subscribed, just stroll up to the top and hit that subscribe button. And thank you. And to everyone that has subscribed to my channel, thank y'all. Welcome to the family. I love y'all. And even the ones that hasn't subscribed, I love y'all as well. And today's story time with Just Jeanette, we're going to be talking about me losing my niece. Y'all, back a couple of years ago, me and my family, we are from a small town. And a lot of us had, for some reason, started moving to Austin. And once we all moved to Austin, we all, just kind of hooked up with each other. And, we just all became, just one big old family. And really, it wasn't she wasn't my real sister. She was my sister was married to her brother. So basically, she was my sister-in-law.
Wait a minute. Who are you?
So anyway, once she moved down here, we had ran across each other, and once she had moved down here, we had ran across each other, and we all started hooking up. She had got her apartment. We would always go over there, and I think she was. And anyway, so we had started. They had started. We had started going to each other's house, going to see each other. She had just moved down here. The rest of us was pretty much here, but she had just got here. So everybody know I don't go out, I don't smoke, I don't drink. So I'm pretty much the babysitter. So she had called me one time, and she had asked me if I would watch the baby. And I told her, I say, yeah, I'll watch her, bring her over. So she was just about 2 months then. She was about 2 months. And so I would watch the baby for a couple of hours. They'll come pick the baby up. And then she'll call again. Would you watch the baby? I'll watch the baby. And then one time she had started calling me and saying that she was out doing what she was doing. And it was late, if it was okay if the baby spent the night. So I'm like, yeah, she can spend the night. So the baby would spend the night. She would come pick the baby up in the morning. And then, time went on from there. So by this time, we was getting ready to move because I'm trying to remember the house that I was in, they was getting ready to sell. And I would always watch my cousins and my nieces and nephews. I would always watch everybody because I was, like I say, I didn't go out. I didn't go anywhere. I was just always at home. So, I had my kids, and, my kids, they was in school and they was doing their little things. And so I would, just keep the babies, y'all go out, y'all do your thing, because it wasn't for me. We finally get all our stuff, get a U-Haul, and we finally go and move in the house and once we got everything out of there. I was so tired, y'all. Oh, I was so tired. I was tired from moving. It was just me and the other person that was living with me. We went ahead and we moved, and we got over there in that house. My 2 boys was off in California. My last 2 boys was off in California with their dad. So it was just me, the other person I was living with, and my 2 kids. Other 2 kids, the oldest 2. So we had a little help. They would come. They got everything moved. We got everything moved in the house. Oh, we finally had got everything set up. Got the beds and everything set up. I took me a good old hot bath, laid down, went to sleep. So probably about 2 or 3 weeks that we was in that house. my sister-in-law, she called me and she was like, can you keep the baby for me? And I'm just like, okay. So I kept the baby. It was probably about like a week or so. So this last time she called me and she asked me, can I keep the baby for 3 days? Because they was gonna go back to our hometown and they was gonna be gone for the weekend, but they'll be back Monday. Was it cool if I kept the baby? We all fell in love with the baby. So, just having her around, she's the littlest thing in the house. We didn't have no more kids. I didn't have no grandkids at the time or nothing. So or nothing. And the other person I was with, he didn't have any kids or anything. So we were just like, okay, we'll go ahead and keep her. So I went ahead and I kept her. So Monday come rolling around, I get a phone call, and they had got these two people had got pulled over, and they was about to take both of them to jail.
I said, hold up, wait a minute.
And the other person had warrants. The one the baby mama had warrants and all kind of other stuff. So I'm just like, oh my goodness. So after she go to jail, she called me and she was just like, she don't know, the other person was going to get out, but she didn't know if she was going to get out. She didn't know what was going to happen. Would I be able to keep the baby? So I'm just like, oh my goodness, this is asking a lot because this is another responsibility for me. So I'm just like, oh my goodness. So me right then and there, I'm just like, I'm already attached to the little girl. I'm not about to let nobody take her because she did not want me to give the baby to the father. And I'm just like, oh my goodness, I just don't know what I'm going to do. So something had happened a couple of weeks later where the father had went to jail. So I didn't hear nothing else about that situation. So probably about like a month rolled around, and I had the baby. I had the baby for like about a month, and I had told her that I needed to get the baby to the doctor and I needed to do all kind of stuff. And she was just like, what do I need to do? I said, I need for you to sign some paperwork or write a letter or something saying that you're in prison and I have custody of the baby until you get out of prison. So we had got the letter notarized. And once we got the letter notarized, everything started going smooth. I was able to get, I was able to get assistance for her. So once I started getting assistance for her, time rolled on. The baby was 4 months when her mama went to jail. Then her mama went, she wasn't going to get out. She was going to be going to prison. The dad was going to be going to prison. So from 3 months to 4 years, I had the baby. I had the baby from 3 months to 4 years. So when the mother get out of prison, the daddy had already been out. The daddy was already out for a little bit. And when the mother got out of prison, it was just like so much had changed. Like the mother, she wanted, they wanted to see the baby, so I would take the baby over there to see them, and and it's just like everything started changing. She got out. She had got pregnant again, and they just made a big deal about them wanting a baby back. After I didn't raise the baby all this time, she was just perfect, just perfect. She was spoiled as ever, but she was perfect. She was raised around, I had 2 granddaughters at the time, so all 3 of them was super close. So, I would call her and tell her, hey, I'm going to bring the baby over. Y'all, you said you want to see the baby. I'm going to bring the baby over, and I'm come back and get her. No, don't come back and get her. Just let her spend the night. So I'm like, okay, I really don't have full custody of the baby. All I have is a piece of paper where she was in prison. And so, anyway, after all of that happened, they was living with one of his family members. And I would take her over there all the time and then go back and get her. And then so much had happened in between, and just things had got out of hand, and everybody wasn't, just so much going on and so much arguing and fussing back and forward. And, I didn't have any legal say, even though I have had her from 4 months, I think, 4 months, I think, to 4 years old. Nobody, when I tell you, I'm the only person, nobody on his side or her side came to see her. I took care of her, fully took care of her, me, the person I was with, and my kids. So we took good care of her. She was good, didn't need nobody. Nothing was, oh man, she was just, nothing was happening in her life. So they moved out and they get their own apartment. So once they get their own apartment, the daddy, I guess, wanted the little girl to come over there. So I would take her over there, let her spend a night. And then this happened for like about a month. And I had been trying to get her in school. And because of some paperwork, and then the mama getting out of prison, it was it was a big old mix up. I couldn't get her in school. So finally, the mama got mad. Her and the daddy, they wanted the little girl. So I'm just like, okay, so y'all just gonna take the baby from me after all this time, and y'all not even living right, and y'all gonna put her in this environment. And just, I said, okay. So I couldn't control. I cried. I got mad. I was frustrated. But it was not nothing I can do because I did not have legal custody. I didn't think about going and try to adopt her or none of that stuff. I was just being a friend and taking care of her while her parents was gone. I didn't know they was going to get out and do none of the stuff that they did. And when they got out, they got her. And, oh, man, she went through so much. And when I would go pick her up to let her spend the night, she would tell me stuff, and I would get so mad. And then she started having all these behaviors, and oh man, them behaviors it was just like, I'm not with you no more. I don't live with you no more. You can't tell me nothing. And so it's just like she became a different child. So when she turned 5, I think we had went and had a, I had went and picked her up. We had a little birthday party at the house, and then we took her back home, and it was just so crazy. I mean, so much was going on, so much was happening, and I'm just like, I just could not believe the things that was happening. So how come, out of all this time I had her, 4 years, not one time, did CPS get involved? Was CPS called? All of a sudden, some things happened. CPS was called. Bam, she in the system. So things went on. So much went on. And I just got to the point where I'm just like, this is ridiculous. So they finally gave her CPS, let the mom have her. She was probably about, from all this time, she was a little bit over 5. She was late going to school because some things had happened, and she was staying over there with before they had got their apartment. I think they was living with his aunt, and she was out of control, and she was having like all these spells. But when I go get her and let her come over there, she didn't do none of that stuff. She was just so happy and playing with the grandkids. And soon as she got ready to go home, they say she was doing this and doing that. And I'm just like, well, she don't do none of that in my house. So anyway, the CPS case was open. So much stuff was found out. And just so many things went on. And I think at this time, they had went back to my hometown, and they was living up there with her mother. I think, if I'm not mistaken, they was living with her mama. And all of this stuff was going on, crazy stuff, a whole bunch of stuff. So they finally, I don't know what happened to the mom and the daddy. I think they might have went back. Did they go back to prison or
2 hours later?
some something happened to where the baby had actually got into the system. She actually got into a system. She was put into a little foster home or something, if I'm not mistaken, y'all. I think she was put into a foster home. I can't exactly remember from that point. Well, anyway, I think I was getting ready to move again, y'all. I was getting ready to move. They was finna sell that house again. And I got a call from CPS asking me would I come to court. They had wanted me to get the little girl, and would I come to court. And she had to testify and all kind of other stuff, and they really wanted me to be there. And they say that's all she do is talk about me and call me, Aunt Donna, this and this and that. And, because the whole time I had her, I'm always telling her, I'm Aunt Donna, I'm Aunt Donna, I'm Aunt Donna. I would never say I'm mama, this and that. Never. I would never do that. So I get to the courtroom and she see me. And y'all, she like the broke through the doors to come run over there and give me a hug. So we just sitting in there, we talking, we waiting on court to get ready. She looking through the phone, looking at all of the pictures of the kids, and we just sitting there, we just talking, we just having a good old time. So finally, we get into the courtroom, and she had to go up and testify for some stuff, and the judge was talking and asking her out of everybody in the courtroom, who is the first person you see? And she say, my Aunt Donna. Y'all, I like literally was in tears. I was just so broke down. So after the judge told him that, the judge asked where was she staying, and they had told the judge where she was staying, and the judge said, I want her immediately released to Miss Cummins. And I'm just like, oh my goodness, I wasn't prepared for all of that because I didn't know all of that was going to happen. So right then and there, they were just like, okay, the judge wants us to release her to you. So we need to do a home visit. We need to do this. And we need to get all your information, everybody who live with you. And I was just like, okay. So they did all of that, did all the information. They finally had brought her to me. And when they brought her to me, she was able to go to school and go to aftercare. They paid for her to go to aftercare because I was working. But oh my goodness, her behavior was terrible. It was terrible. I mean, I just didn't know what to do. And they say, CPS, you can't whoop them, you can't discipline them, you can't do anything. She would sit there and scream to the top of her lungs. I mean, you better not do this. And I'm just like, oh my goodness, what is wrong with her? She never was like that. So I was just like at a point to where I'm just like, I can't do this. I cannot do this. So she would just like fight. One time I went and got her from school, and the teacher told me she had peed on herself. So when I got her home, I had asked her, did she pee on herself? And she started crying and screaming and hollering at the top of her lungs. So I'm just like, why are you doing all of that? It got crazy about a day. So she had to go to counseling. I would go up there, sit up there with her to go to counseling, go to do counseling with her. And the counselor would tell me, wow, the counselor, how do you do it? Because she would have behaviors in there when she didn't want to do something that they would want her to do. And I told the counselor lady, I say, I don't know what to do. So the counselor lady told me, do you do time out? I said, we do time out, we do everything. But she screams and hollers so much to where people be, I be wondering if people is even thinking I'm doing something to her. And I got my granddaughter in there. And I'm telling her, girl, you're going to get CPS called on me. You already in CPS. And that somebody going to call CPS on us. Thinking we doing something to you or the police or something. So this went on for 2 months. We moved, got settled, got them all settled. And we would have to put her on pull-ups and stuff because she had got it. She had, she used to pee in the bed. And I used to have to wake her up probably like almost an hour early to give her a bath before I sent her to school. And you couldn't comb her hair at nighttime because when she got mad or had a spell, she would literally pull her hair and all kind of other stuff. So, I had to make things work to where it will work for both of us. Yeah, these are really good. These are really good. But I used to have to make it work for both of us. And there was some days when they be at school, I get to clean up, get everything done. She come home, one day she okay. The next day she not. I would go take her to the park. I would just do all kind of stuff for her. So CPS, well, once I got her to a calm spot, CPS would come and call her in the room and talk to her and tell them, nobody ain't supposed to do this. Nobody ain't supposed to do that. And if they doing this and if they doing that, you make sure you let us know. So they would always come back and stir up the situation, and it didn't do nothing but make things worse for her. So I would tell them, why do y'all tell her that? No one is hitting on her. No one is doing nothing to her. Why do y'all come and tell her that? And then she goes right back to these behaviors. I say, it's ridiculous. I say, y'all putting me in a situation to where I'm stressing myself out. I have a 17-year-old son. He was 16 or 17-year-old in high school. And, this is really starting to get ridiculous. So the lady, one day CPS, we had just got home from, school. I just went and picked her and my granddaughter up from school, dropped my daughter off at work. So I'm sitting in the house. They come knock on the door. And I'm like, what are y'all doing here? They talking about home visit. I said, ain't nobody called me for no home visit. They say no one has to call you for a home visit. And I'm like, oh, so y'all just can show up at my house whenever y'all want to. We just got here. What is it that y'all need? They came in, talked to her. Soon as them people left, that little girl, woo, y'all, I tell y'all, she was screaming and hollering and doing all kind of other, you better not hit me. You better not whoop me. I ain't never touched her. I had probably held her so she wouldn't be doing some stuff. I ain't never touched her. Never. I would always tell her not to hit because she would always hit my grandbaby. My grandbaby was, younger, and I was like, don't hit. That's ugly. Don't put your hands on people. And, she was screaming, hollering. So CPS started. It was a little young girl, too. She was young. And I tell y'all, I could not stand her. She come over your house, say what she want to say, and just do whatever she wanted to do. I need to walk through your house. I say, for what? You done already been to my house. And she don't be in nothing but that room and that room. She uses this restroom and that restroom and be in the kitchen and living room. You don't need to go in the other two rooms. Oh, she has so much to say about that. Why are you not allowing me? Because you don't need to go in those rooms. Those are my kids' room. What do you need to go in that room for? I know when your supervisor was here, your supervisor told me that you didn't need to go in those rooms. But she was such a, ooh, y'all, I'm telling y'all, she was something else. So I think one day, this had happened, this went on for probably like a couple of months. So one day she comes over there and something had happened and she wanted me to do something. I told her I wasn't going to do it. And she said, well, I'm going to have to remove her from your home and place her in placement until we can get this figured out.
Do it! Just do it!
I said, okay, I'm not going to stress about it. I said, I'm not going to stress about it. I'm not going to fight about it. I'm not going to argue. I have been doing this for the last, 2 years or so? Year or 2 years, I don't even remember. And the behaviors that she have and everything, I just really can't take it no more. I just really can't take it. I love her to death, and I don't want to see nothing happen to her. But CPS, y'all make it hard for us to love them. I mean, not to love them. Y'all make it hard for us to just give our all into doing what we need to do. And this is starting to get on my nerves. So she calls her supervisor, and she tell her supervisor, what she tell her supervisor? She told her supervisor something, so I don't know. So anyway, I called the advocate, let the advocate know what had happened. I'm trying to remember. I can't remember exactly what happened, but called the advocate. So we go to court. We get into the courtroom. Once again, the judge say, I don't know what y'all are doing, but I immediately want her released, Tilladonna, right now. Okay, what did the judge do that for? Once they released her back into my custody, they was coming over there all the time. I was getting so sick of them. And I think she was doing it to just be hateful. And, I would get her like into a calm places where she was comfortable. And, because so much had went on in her life. So you really had to treat her a different way than you would have to treat the other kids. So, I would get her comfortable. I would get her where she needed to be. She started doing good in school. Here comes CPS. Here comes CPS. Soon as CPS come, here she go with her behaviors. It had got to the point to where my kids were like, Mom, we finna move. We finna go. This girl is something else. And I was just like, this is crazy. So this went on for months and months and months and months. So we got a friend who got custody of her brother. And she had custody of him since he was 9 months. And she, me and her, we and our mothers are best friends. So we always kept in touch with each other. We all real close still to this day. And I would call her and we would talk to each other. She, we would just talk about the kids and stuff like that. She said, well, I'm going to come and bring her something. And, she would come and bring her some clothes and all kind of stuff. We were just trying to do so much to get her at a better place, in her, dealing with her behaviors and all kind of other stuff. We was doing so much. The stuff I ain't never did for my kids, I was doing for her. And it got so overwhelming. CPS got to a place to where they was coming, checking my house, and I'm just like, all because the judge told y'all that y'all needed to put her back into my care. The judge wasn't trying to hear nothing they was saying. The judge wasn't trying to hear it at all. Once that advocate got up there and said what he said, the judge was not trying to hear anything. So I believe that her and the supervisor took it out on me. So one day I went and I was already upset with the lady because she came over to my house and she walked around my house. And this is the day I told, this is the day before. And this was the day before this incident happened. And we had already kind of had some words. And I told her, I said, you know what? Words. I said, y'all young girls, just because you got a little good job, you want to come up here and judge me and for what I'm doing. I say, this is my sister-in-law's daughter. What? I've been having her for, I took care of her almost 5 years without CPS in her life. I'm not the one got CPS put in her life. Her folks did, not me. I say, but then y'all want to come over here and judge me and tell me this and get mad at me because I'm doing everything that I'm supposed to do. So, me and her had all these words. So, I go and get my, I go and pick them up from childcare after, I think it was like 5:30. So, my son called me. He was, didn't have basketball practice. He called me and he asked me would I come and, pick him up from school. So I went and picked him and a couple of his friends up from school, and we get ready to go to the house. And we weren't even at the house 10 minutes. She come knocking on the door. I have Christmas gifts that I wanted to leave for the baby. I said, okay, you can bring them in. Anytime y'all come, there's nobody doing nothing. There's nothing going on in my house. But let me tell y'all about this woman. So she say, I smell marijuana. I say, you smell marijuana? She say, yes. Can I talk to your son? So I said, what do you need to talk to my son for? No, you cannot talk to my son. My son is 17 years old. What do you want to talk to my son for? Because I think the marijuana is coming from there. I say, look, ma'am, ain't nobody smoking nothing up in this house. I say, we just got here, so what are you talking about? Well, you can smell it is strong and all this other kind of stuff. So she go and she knocks on his, just without my permission. She just walked on to the back, knock on his room door. And she asked him, can I talk to you? So he was like, what's up? She was just like, are you smoking? He's like, man, I'm not smoking. I just got out of school. And I smoked at school, but no, I ain't smoking. I ain't finna smoke in my mama's house. And then with these kids and all of that. No, I wouldn't do that. So she was just like, well, it smelled pretty strong. Do you got something in here? My son say, what are you talking about? And anyway, no. And my son closed the door. And I said he had the right to do that. So she come back out. She's like, well, I got to go make a phone call. So she gonna make a phone call, and she comes back, and she says, I need to search your son's room. I said, no, you ain't searching nothing. I said, girl, you ain't searching nothing. She's like, I need to search your son's room. I said, no, your best bet is to get ready to leave. My son is 17 years old. My son lives here. My son is on the lease, and you're not searching anything. Well, I'm gonna have to go call my supervisor. Come back in there. Is there any way you and her can go get y'all a motel room? I say, huh? Go get a motel room for what? Because because it smells like marijuana and we can't let her stay in here with you. I say, woman, you done lost your mind if you think I'm finna go get a motel room. Well, can your son leave? Can he go somewhere? Can he go to some of his friends' house or something? So I say, this woman finna make me cuss her out or whatever. So my son had heard her, and he came in there. He was like, Mama, we finna leave and go around the corner anyway. So we gone. So him and his friends, they left. And she was like, well, can I go in there and search his room? I say, ma'am, I'm going to tell you one more time. You're not going in my son's room, and you're not searching nothing in his room. He already told you. I told you. And if that's not enough for you, I don't know what to tell you. So she was just like, well, I'll call my supervisor, and we need for you and her to leave. And if she can't leave, then we're going to have to remove her tonight because we don't know if your son is coming back or not. I said, look, man, let me tell you something. My son is 17 years old, still in high school. And if you think I'm going to put my son out because you're asking me to, you done lost your mind. I say, I love my little niece to death. I would do anything for her. But I ain't finna lose my own kid to take care of somebody else's that I birthed into this world when her parents is somewhere doing I don't know what and getting to live their best life. And you think I'm finna put my son out? Baby, you done lost your mind. So she say, well, no, it was a knock on the door. And it was her supervisor. So she come and she was just like, well, we need to see if y'all can leave or do this and do that. They was just, y'all, I'm telling y'all, they took it and I went off. I went off on them people. I say, look, let me tell y'all something. I say, get y'all computers, get these toys, and y'all can take my niece and y'all can bounce up out of here. Because I'm not going to no motel and I'm not going to sit up here and try to prove nothing else to y'all. My son left and I'm sitting up here and I'm not finna go to no motel because you feel like he gonna come back. I say he live here. He got to go to school in the morning. She got to go to school in the morning. I say, so therefore, if y'all can't accept the fact that this is what it is, then y'all can all leave. So she get mad. Oh, you're gonna put your niece out? I say, no, I'm not putting her out. I'm putting y'all out. But y'all won't leave unless she leaves. So in order for me to get some peace, in order for me to be okay, she's gonna have to leave with y'all. Or y'all gonna leave her? Which one? Well, no, we can't leave her, but we do need for you and her to go get a motel room. I'm not going to go get a motel room. I got to go pick my daughter up here in about 35, 45 minutes. And it is what it is. So they trying to be slick. They out on the phone. Set up on the phone and tried to call. I don't know who they called. I think they called police. And said something. My son was not even there. So I say, okay. So my daughter called and she was just like, she was ready. They still standing up in my doorway talking. So I say, look, I'm finna go get this stuff and get out of my house. The supervisor gonna tell me when I get through typing. I say, no, you finna leave right now because I'm finna go and you ain't staying up in here. So she talking about, oh, so we can't finish no, you can finish it outside. But I'm about to go. So she get all of her stuff.